So there is the famous movie scene in Matrix. I don't know how many of you guys had seen that, but in Matrix, Neo asks Trinity, "Can you fly that thing?" He points out to the helicopter and asks, "Can you fly that thing?" And Trinity says like, "Not yet." So instantly she calls the tank, his her buddy, and can you load a pilot program for B-212 helicopter? And then the tank, the operator, so who is sitting in the ship, he instantly loads the skill and Trinity receives it. So now instantly Trinity is an expert in flying the B-212 helicopter. Now that was the sci-fi scene from 1999. So fast forward to Jan 2026. Vercel is releasing skill.sh, right? So you can see here skill.sh. It is exactly similar thing that anybody can instantly get into expertise into anything, right? So of course, you can be an expert video editor. You can be an expert front-end design skill expert, right? Or you can be an fast API expert. You can be an Python expert, or even an search engine optimization expert. So tons and tons of expert has been released. Of course, we also had released something called backtesting expert, right? So we released a skill called vectorbt-backtesting-skills. Now what it does simplifies is like, anybody can backtest any kind of complex equity strategy, right? And maybe it can be a simple EMA crossover, or it can be a super trend, or it can be an intraday strategy, or it can be a breakout strategy, or it can be even portfolio strategies or sector rotational strategies. So any kind of complex, or even it can be even an dynamic asset allocation strategies, which majority of the PMS fund managers they tend to use. So such kind of strategies can be easily coded and backtested effortlessly using this vectorbt backtesting skills. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the installation process. So the basic requirements are, in your machine, you need to have Node and Python installed. And obviously, you need to have any one of the agentic coding tool. It can be Cursor, Codex, Claude Code, Antigravity, or it can be even Kilocode, or any other agentic coding tool which supports skills. Of course, majority of the platform these days it supports the skills.sh, right? You need to install the vectorbt skills, and of course the agentic coding tools are connected with LLM models, so that we can just simply ask, hey, can you back a simple 10 and 20 EMA crossover strategy in State Bank of India, 5-minute time frame. So that's a simple prompt that we're gonna add, and the agentic coding tool is gonna load the skill, and using the skill set it is going to generate the Python code, and that Python code will be generated using the help of the LLM models, right? So in my case, I'm going to use Claude Code. So I'll show you in a moment like how the entire setup works. I'll go to my VS Code. So here is my VS Code, and ensure that you just type node-v and ensure that Node.js is installed, and of course Python --version. So ensure that Python is also installed in your machine. And I am already running OpenAlgo in my another terminal, so which is running in port 5000 here, right? So let's go to port 5000 and let's see that OpenAlgo is already running. It's logged in. I'll go to the API key section, ensure that I just copy the API key and keep it securely. Later on, we may need that. So now in order to install the skill, right? So I'll go to the GitHub link where the skill has been hosted. So if you scroll down, you'll be finding this npx skill. So this will be installing the skills. So I'll copy the command and I come back to the PowerShell. I'll just right click wherever you want to install, right? So I'm just going to install over here. So just install the skill, type enter, and that should be installing the skill inside the project. It's asking me whether I should accept the skill or not. I'm going to say yes. And it's going to load the list of skills. There are total 5 skills we have. One is backtest, optimize, quick stats, strategy compare, vectorbt expert. So I'm going to install all those skills. So I'm just going to select, you can move down and then select the tab or space, right? So space you can select, it will be toggling to green. That means all the skills has been selected. Type enter. So now here comes the most important part. So you can install in any of those CLI tools. Like in my case, I'm using Claude Code. Otherwise, if we are using AMP, Codex, Cursor, Gemini, or OpenCode or Kimi Code, CLI, anywhere, it will be creating a .agents folder. Inside that, the skills folder will be included. So there are many Antigravity kind of editors. They use .agent /skills, right? So in my case, I'm going to select Claude Code. So Claude Code uses .claude/skills. So at the moment I type enter, it will be installing all those skills in my PC inside the .claude folder. Right? You can also, if you are an OpenClaw user, you can also install those skills as well inside OpenClaw, and you can load those skills to control the backtesting. So in my case, I'm going to select Claude Code, and then I'm going to say like how you want to install. So I'm going to say I want to install inside the project, and I'm just going to give symlink and then enter. So it's asking me, should you or would you like to proceed with installation? I'm going to say yes. Now, once the skill is installed, right, you can find those skills over here. You can see that Claude file, folder has been created. Inside that, you can find the skill folder. Inside, you will be finding multiple skills, right? So once the skill is installed, I'm going to fire up my Claude Code. So if you are opening up the Claude Code in the same path and you can just /backtest, you will be able to see the /backtest over here. So that shortcut will be enabling you to write the strategies. You can you have to say like what symbol, exchange, and interval. So in the meantime, what we are going to do is like I'm going to open up another folder. So where I'm going to create a new directory, mkdir. I'm going to create a new directory called backtesting, right? So this is where I'm going to keep my backtesting files, right? And I'm going to create a virtual environment. So I'll say like python -m v, and inside that I'm going to install 2 things, OpenAlgo and vectorbt, and plotly for charting, right? So I'm going to do an pip install vectorbt. Probably I'm going to install OpenAlgo. I'm going to install plotly. Maybe I'm going to install any widget. And I'm also going to install maybe NB format, which is not required for time being, but if you are using in Jupyter Notebook, NB format is quite helpful. So yeah, so these are the important things that I'm installing inside this library. Let it install. In the meantime, what we're going to do is like we go back to /backtest and say, for time being, I'm going to load the skill. I'm going to say like, can you load the vectorbt skills? So now what it does is like it goes to the .claude folder and it should load all the complete skill. Now it becomes an expert in writing backtesting codes, right? So now it's time to write our first backtesting engine. So maybe for indicators, right, I also go and install, probably I'll say like pip install ta-lib. This will be giving the access to technical indicators, right? So we have vectorbt installed, ta-lib installed. We also had installed OpenAlgo as well. And couple of inputs that I'm gonna provide over here. I'll say like /backtest. So I'm gonna say I want to implement a simple 10 and 20 EMA crossover strategy in State Bank of India, right? So I want to backtest probably daily time frame is what I want to backtest, and I want to backtest for the last 10 years. 10 years of data is what I want to backtest. And I also need to supply my OpenAlgo API key as well. So here I'll go to OpenAlgo, I'll just copy the key I'll come back and then I'll paste the API key as well. So I'll say like, this is my OpenAlgo API key. Can you backtest it? I mean, I don't need to say can you backtest it. I'll just simply say enter. So because the /backtest automatically loads the backtesting skills. Now what it will try to do is like it will try to create an backtesting folder, and one more thing I may have to provide. I'll say like I want to create files. I want to create the codes inside @backtesting. We have @backtesting. That's a backtesting folder, or you can just maybe you can just do a drag and drop as well. So that will be bringing that where exactly you want to keep your codes and where it can find the VNV file as well. So I'll say like right click and then I'll copy the path of the where the virtual environment Python libraries are kept, and I'll say like VNV can be found at this path. So I'm just trying to provide the maximum context which the AI tool is required. So this will be helpful in probably creating the Python code, and it will be helping to run the complete Python code as well. It's trying to create a .env file, but which is not required though, because I'm asking to provide the API key. So maybe it is keeping the inside the backtesting, it's creating a .env file and it's keeping the API key of OpenAlgo, which is fine, which is also fine. But that requires python.env also. We may have to go and install it. So it is installing those python.env. It is also installing vectorbt, numpy, pandas. Anyways, those things has been already installed. OpenAlgo and Plotly. So all those things has been installed. I may have to say like, can you use tlib to build indicators? So I also had said like, can you use tlib to build those indicators as well? So all the libraries has been already installed. So now in the code, whatever it is creating a file name called SBN EMA crossover backtest.py. If I go to that code, you can find that it is creating State Bank of India, daily data, initial capital it is invoking as like 10 lakhs and the fees as like 0.1%. That's what it means, and 75% allocation. And these informations are coming from the skills. It's also connecting to OpenAlgo, and it is fetching the last 10 years of historical data for State Bank of India, right? And it is creating the EMA values for 10 and 20 EMA, and it is creating the entries and exits, and the backtesting is done. So everything it is running. So you can see that it is asking me a permission to run the application. I'm going to give yes. So it's checking the tlib version though. Checking is whether tlib is installed or not. It does a couple of checks. So all these are like kind of a one-time effort. Maybe second time onwards, your effort will be it's going to be very much easier. As you can see that the backtest engine is running, and anytime we should be getting the results. So here we go. So this is the backtesting results of State Bank of India for simple 10 and 20 EMA crossover with commissions and slippages applied, right? So we get the equity curve, we get the simple drawdown curve, and without writing a single line of code. And this is a one-time setup. For second time onwards, it is going to be very easier for you. So I'm going to say like, I'll say like /backtest. Let's say I want to backtest SIP strategy where I will invest 10,000 rupees at the start of the month, right? And the best part is you can also get the benchmark metrics over here. You also get some interpretation as well. So once one particular strategy is tested and you got the output, now it's time to build the magic. You can say like, I want to build a SIP strategy where I want to invest 10,000 rupees at the start of every month, right? Every month, and I want to backtest probably in let's say like State Bank of India. Can you help me backtest in a daily time frame? So what it does, it fetches the data from OpenAlgo, right? So, and OpenAlgo is connected with your broker. So automatically the data will be coming from your broker, and you should be able to automatically build any kind of complex strategies. As of now, in this example, I am just showing only simple strategies, but yeah, so you can build confidently any kind of simple to complex strategies. So here is the source code which is getting ready, and it is also executing the source code as well. And all those files are kept inside the backtesting folder, as you can see. Like, so one is an EMA crossover strategy, the second was an SIP strategy. And here we go. So that's an SIP strategy. And so that's the SIP strategy with drawdown curve. And if you come back, right, you can also ask for like, can you provide the XIRR? Can you provide in XIRR terms? So automatically it can help you out in getting the XIRR terms as well. So SIP had delivered on 12.84% CAGR, but we don't measure in CAGR, right, for SIP. So we'll go with XIRR terms. So instead of CAGR, it's going to come up with an XIRR based calculations. So you can control the calculations basically, right? So what output that you want to see, accordingly the source code will be returned. And that way you can build any kind of complex backtesting logic very easily without taking any extra effort. So the effort is to install the CLI tool. The effort is to get the skills ready, skills loaded, and try to connect with some sample test data, try to play with that. Your data can be from anywhere. It can be from OpenAlgo, it can be from Yahoo Finance, or it can be even from your own CSV file or from your own database, right? So it doesn't matter. So here comes the XIRR return. So if you would have invested 12 lakh rupees in the last 10 years, probably the current value would have been like 40 lakhs. And this is the XIRR return, 22.69%. And the absolute return will be around like 234.41% with a drawdown of minus 28.42. You can, I mean, if in case you would have done a lump sum, the lump sum would have been outperformed a lot, right? So anyways, that's a thing, but lump sum is different, and then SIP is different, as you know that, right? Anyways, so I hope it helped you to understand. You can also benchmark with Nifty, or you can benchmark with Nifty Bs or Gold Bs, and you can understand different varieties of returns. You can build charts, in fact. Right? It can bring you some very interactive charting features, and you can control these charts, what you want to see in the charts and what you want to compare. You can compare strategies, you can optimize. Simply you can play with those tools, and simply you are that Trinity expert in driving that B-212 helicopter. So let me know what exactly you are building and how it turns out to be, and whether you are able to load the skills, how the skills are going for you, what exactly you built on the skill. Let me know down in the comments. So see you in yet another video. Thank you. Bye bye.